when we got the ball, my mentality was we've got 3 or 4 plays here. Let's get the ball to midfield. Just make sure we get to midfield. We'll take a couple shots. We had 2 timeouts. College football, the clock stops after first down.
That's right.
So we get a first down on the first one on a seam route. We get a first down on the second one out of bounds. And I'm like, we're already across midfield. We still got 2 timeouts. So there's one play was an incompletion. I never used the timeouts. You know, we still had 2 in our pocket. And
are you calling timeouts? You're dropping them?
Yeah, that's another thing. We call them on the field.
Yeah.
But we were really good at 2-minute in college. Colleges, they waste more time, looking to the sideline, getting the play and all that. I mean, I was just calling my own plays. So we get it. We line up in a hurry. I get the play called. I'm ready to snap the ball before the official. And then on the whistle, boom, he snaps the ball.
Yeah.
We didn't waste time. Maybe we lost a second and a half, but we were good at not wasting time on our 2-minute and didn't have to use the timeouts.
So you didn't have to use the timeouts, and it goes into the last play. Now, what's your mindset? Can you take us beat for beat with that?
My mindset is I was hoping to get a little closer. Didn't happen in completion. 6 seconds. Okay, it's time for a Hail Mary. I'm getting in the huddle to call the play, and they're running a freshman on the field with the play. Like, I got to freaking listen to the It's like Sean Dombrowski, freshman. Dumbo was his nickname. They want him on the field because he can jump.
Yeah.
It's not going to be – it's like, you're a freshman. Sit down. I'm waving him off the field because I want Troy Stratford. He was a 5th-year senior. I wanted Troy on the field for the play and him be one of the receivers. He was a running back, but I wanted him in the mix. Little did I know, Troy had a pulled hamstring. He never gets down the field on the play. So Troy starts to jog off the field. I'm yelling at Troy to get his ass back here and Dumbo off the field. So the freshman does. He's like, I'm listening to Doug and I'm off the field. Troy comes back to the huddle. The bench sends Sean back. I'm like, no, sit down. So we get the play called. We go to the line of scrimmage. And there's an inadvertent whistle and a flag. And the defenders were on Gerard and on Troy, leaving Kelvin Martin, the outside receiver, to be the free runner to get down there first. And after the inadvertent whistle, we line up again. Now I tell the tight end, go down the backside. And my philosophy is buy as much time as possible, make it a jump ball. But back then, everybody dropped back, throw it. The receivers are still trying to get there.
You gotta buy time to get your guys down there.
Last second, the defender decides, you know what? This is the guy with speed. I'm going to go jam him. He walks off Gerard, goes to the outside defender, allowing Gerard to be the first guy down. Now, Gerard, they did an ISO on the replay. He looks like he's running a 5.4 40. I mean, we're on a wet – he's just chugging down the field with his head down. And when I rolled right, the defenders sat flat and let Gerard go right by him. He's deeper than the deepest and turning around and seeing the ball thrown. But then when I pulled up, it kind of like a javelin, on the move, threw it and got it there. I was going to look backside, but a linebacker was running at me, so I didn't have time to look backside. I get outside. I just let it launch to an area. I see the 2 defenders go up, and everybody just fall to the ground. And there's a half-second delay, and I see an official's arms. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I start laughing my ass off and start running towards the pile, and I never got down there. There's a great picture of Steve Trapillo with me in his arms. I guess I jumped into his arm. Yeah, you jumped
up, and we all saw your little, you got hairy little stomach there, Bubs.
Yeah, great. And then there's a better picture that I love of me and my brother's arms from the back of him with Flutie on his jersey and me with my arm in the air, too.
To me, like, I think about this stuff, like the history of rivalries. Like, I grew up in New York, and like the Yankees and the Red Sox in the old days, the 70s and the 80s, when they were brawling, like legit brawls in games, Thurman Munson, Carlton Fisk, and like Bruins, Rangers fighting fans in the stands. Like, there was some serious rivalries going on, but this one took it like to a different level because it wasn't as much on the field. It was like the off the field stuff, the off field drama with coaches and front office and players switching teams and the whole New York Boston rivalry and even at that time, and I know this because I was one of them. I grew up in New York, went to school in Boston, college in Boston. There was a lot of that going on in that 80s, 90s where there was an influx of young people from New York going to college in Boston that brought a whole new kind of aspect to it of the rivalry. And then this game was kind of took it to the next level.
It's like I was trying to think of like how to equate it to a modern sort of rivalry, and you just can't, like, with the coaching changes, the players changes, the back and forth. Like,
be like Andy Reid going to The Raiders.
It's just like I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
And it being
Literally.
messy on his way out
Yeah.
of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then the best player, then Mahomes having, I mean, just a quick little, this is one thing with Curtis Martin. He's on the Patriots. It's like had 3 years or 2 or 3 years, good player, very productive player, had some injuries. There was a contract aspect going on. Were the Patriots going to sign him? Were they not going to sign him? So Parcells loved Curtis Martin from his time at the Patriots. So he signs Curtis. He was a restricted free agent. He signs him to an offer sheet to come to the Jets. Okay. In this offer sheet, it says that Curtis Martin has to be the highest paid player on a team. Can't do this now. And the Patriots couldn't match that because Bledsoe was there. And he was, the Patriots didn't have an established quarterback. It was Neil O'Donnell, from the old regime. It was Glenn Foley, Boston College.
Yeah.
BC, baby.
BC.
So they could do that. That's also one of the many rules that have come up probably out of this rivalry as well, is that poison pill in the contract. You can't do that anymore. So Curtis Martin ended up going to the Jets, having a Hall of Fame career.
Jesus.
That's just one thing. I mean,
This game that we're covering is his highest rushing yard.
199.
199, a touchdown.
right. I think he had like 7 carries on the game-winning drive in overtime.
Yeah, it was all
and this
incredible.
game, like the Patriots had a really good team. And I'll give you one more. Who's on the sideline in this game for the Patriots? Pete Carroll's the head coach. Turned out to be quite that was
Hall
a
of
good
Fame
hire
head
then.
coach.
And he's, national championship at college, Super Bowl in the end. So a great coach who a few years before, head coach of the Jets for 1 year. They fired him after 1 year. So Pete Carroll was the head coach of the Jets.
Yeah.
People don't really talk about that as much in this game, but there's another one.
So I'd love because I didn't realize that you were in the Jets organization before Parcells came in.
Yeah.
What was the vibe, the buzz? What was going on from the Jets' perspective when Parcells started the rumblings of potentially joining the Jets while he was under contract with the Patriots?
From what I recall, it was if you can get Parcells, you get Parcells. Now remember, the team is 4-28. So if it wasn't Parcells, it could have been somebody else coming in, as a new head coach anyway.
But if you get Parcells,
You had instant credibility right away, and whatever he wants, he gets, and he's going to do, and you're going to get better. Team was in the AFC Championship game the next year, 12-4 season. But yeah, that game, the Patriots were good, the Jets were not good, so the pressure was all on the Patriots. You got to win this game. You can't let this guy leave
Yeah.
the way he left, and come back week 3, national TV. Patriots are 2-0. And win here, like that would have been disastrous. So the Patriots had to win that game and barely did. They were the better team, but took a lot of body blows on the way. It's like Rocky won.
Rocky
Well,
won.
look at it. Rocky won. Apollo wins, but it took a lot.
Was that week of practice and prep? How was that week?
In
going
New York, it wasn't nearly what it was. I think up here because all the information was there, like newspaper and on the radio, like that was it. You could tell like up here it meant everything. Down there was like the team's just kind of getting started here.
Yeah.
Try not to piss him off. I personally, because I was into this stuff, like I wanted to win it for him because I knew it was a big deal for that. But within the team, I think they could sense it, once the buses are getting pelted. Like the Jets buses didn't get pelted very much at 1 in 15. Like 1 in 15 buses don't get pelted.
Did you see that recent one that Lawrence Taylor drove by Giant Stadium? You saw the lights on him. He was like, oh, fuck, I have a game.
Yeah.
And showed up in the first quarter.
He showed up late. They benched him for a series, and then he went out, and I think he had like 7 sacks.
All right, I'm going to tell a story, okay? I don't feel like I'm talking out of school here because this is a funny story. So I'm doing Inside the NFL. Phil Simms is on the show, and Lawrence Taylor is coming in. So it's Phil, Chris Collinsworth, Lawrence Taylor, and me, right? I mean, one of those classic, like, what in the hell am I doing here, right? So Lawrence hasn't showed up yet. So Phil tells me a story. I go, I can't believe Lawrence Taylor's going to be here. I mean, that guy he's just, like, he literally changed the game. And I was just going on and on about him. He goes, you know what's funny about that guy? He goes, he didn't even know the names of the teams in the leagues. I go, get the fuck out of here. He goes, yeah. He goes, one time, he goes, we won some game. They were on the road, and they're on the team plane. They're all hyped. And Lawrence is psyched, and Phil goes, yeah, hey, man, if the Redskins lose, then we're going to be in first place in our division. And Lawrence goes, oh, yeah? He goes, who's in our division? And Phil goes, you don't know who's in our division? And he goes, man, I don't give a shit, right? And I'm thinking, like, that is the genius
That he
of
was.
him. Let's say, I don't need extra information in my head. You have a different uniform than me. I'm going to ruin your day. So I thought it was a hilarious story. But as always, you think maybe he put a little mustard on it or whatever. 10 minutes later, Lawrence Taylor comes walking in. Him and Phil both just start laughing, which was great. They just saw each other. They started laughing. They hugged and everything. You just know all the shit that they did back then. Who knows, right? So Lawrence sits down and he starts telling stories, right? They just start telling things. And in the middle of one story, he goes, we were down in New Orleans and we were playing the and he goes, Phil, what's the name of that team in New Orleans? And he goes, the Saints. He goes, we're playing the Saints. It was unbelievable. And then fat sports writers would say that, they would say that he wasn't smart, he was blah, blah. It's like, that's like some Einstein shit. I'm wearing the same shit every day, so my brain doesn't, I only need to worry about, like, you hear all those stories, how he would sleep through meetings and then get up and diagram the whole play, or they would ask him if it was okay. The guy is like a fucking
Savant.
Genius. But the fact that he didn't even know, like the fact that he's almost like a housewife in the level that he doesn't know the names of the teams, yet he's the most alpha dominating player that I ever saw. But you know why he seems like he fell out of the sky is because his favorite player was Hollywood Henderson.
Yeah.
And he was like, Hollywood Henderson was the gap as far as the linebacking position between, like, Dick Butkus in that era and him. He came and it looked like he was an alien. It was because, unfortunately, Hollywood Henderson had, like, substance abuse problems and it affected his career. But one of the greatest another underrated play, 1976, the Steelers are playing the Cowboys, and the Steelers kick off. Guess who receives it? Hollywood Henderson. They had a linebacker receiving their kick in 1976. Like, that just didn't happen. And he took it all the way down the field to, like, their 45, and Roy Jarella, their kicker, just sort of dove like that, and his linebacker knee hit his ribs.
Broke him.
Yeah, and fucked him up for the game. And it's a really hard game to watch if you're a Cowboys fan because they were running reverses. I think that's what it was. It was a reverse on the kickoff, and they were doing all of this shit. And then they got up, and then they just sat on the ball, and the Steelers kept playing, and then they came back and beat them.
Man, how does it feel to be that old to remember a 1976 game that great?
I watched it on YouTube. The first one I watched was 78.
What's the first game you remember watching? Do you know?
Some O.J. Simpson was playing in, like, the early 70s.
Buffalo.
And my dad screaming at the TV. Or something. My grandfather going, these are the old days. He's, like, packing a pipe to smoke it inside.
Was he Sherlock Holmes?
This was not too long after I got cut,
Yeah.
so I was still following things pretty closely. And, I knew all about Franco Harris and those guys because they came a year after I got cut. And when I got cut, I had a cup of coffee with them, basically.
Yeah.
That's about it. But, so I was still, sitting in the bar with my buddies watching these games.
Yeah.
And glad I wasn't playing at that point.
Yeah, but you had to be vested because you got drafted with Mean Joe Green. You got drafted with a lot of these Pro Football Hall of Famers. And so you got to enjoy, it was Chuck Noll's first year, right?
It was Noel's first year.
And so you got to, you had his first training camp. And you got to know these people. So you get vested because you have relationships with these guys, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was, it was very intense. You've been to those camps. I mean, I didn't make a whole lot of friends. It was
Job.
Yes.
Try to make the team.
But it was fun. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As opposed to college. I mean, I don't know why you would think it would be the opposite, but I actually enjoyed the training down there.
Yeah, what people don't realize, because I was a very similar situation as you. You were a priority free agent, so they signed you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was a 7th round draft pick, which is the last round of our draft. Which some would argue it's better to be a free agent because you get 2 years contract instead of locking you in for a third.
And you were a quarterback.
I was a quarterback.
Yeah.
But the mental aspect when you're on the team and there's 90 guys. They got to cut it down to 53. And you're did you used to play the numbers game? You're sitting in training camp. Well, they're going to keep this guy. They're going to keep that guy.
Yeah, I had a situation where, I don't know if yours was the same as ours, but the Steelers. They would put a board up, and if your name wasn't on it, you were cut.
Oh,
so it's kind of a nice way to do it. Your name, you don't see your name as this guy got cut. People don't know you. They don't even know you got cut.
Ed, it's completely changed nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you'll be sitting in a locker room, and they have this guy who everyone calls the Turk. It's probably like he's like an offensive assistant of another assistant. Yeah. And he comes up to your locker, and he taps on your shoulder, and he says, "Hey, head coach wants to see you bring your playbook."
Oh, no, I had that.
Oh,
see, they went through, when it started out,
okay,
they had so many guys.
Yeah.
That they cut the way I just mentioned. But then if you got along some, then it turned into, by the way, Coach Snow would like to see you in his office. Said, "Bring your playbook." That's what happened to me.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, but then you know how nice they are to you when you go in there.
We're going a different route. You're just not in the plan.
Yeah. Well, with me, it was, you never played outside linebacker, and you're trying to make the team and learn the position at the same time. That's hard to do. I said, yeah. He said, well, I think I remember it as you can go to the Eagles if you want to, and they'll give you a good look. We'll rent a car for you. You can drive down the PA Pike. But I need to know right now. And I don't know what happened to my thinking. It was like, you're going to what? I want to drive a car to Philadelphia? No. I said, I'm done. I'm finished. Thanks a lot.
Wow.
That was it. But I was getting sick of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I played for 2 colleges. I had some knee problems. And I don't know what it was. I didn't even like coaches much. I liked Noel. He was I didn't get to know him much, but he was a real gentleman, and I thought he was a nice guy. He was. But I had coaches in college I didn't like at all.
Yeah.
In high school, too. I had to start thinking maybe it was my fault. It was to that point. Gee. But I was finished. He said, well, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know, but not this. Hey. And then I remember when I went to my back to the dorm room, I had a roommate. His name was Clarence Oliver, San Diego State. He made the team as a defensive back. And I think he only played 1 year. I think he broke his back.
Ooh.
But he made it. But I went in, and he was like, what happened? I said, what do you think? So I was packing up, and the guy came in. They said, well, the car's out there. Where do you want to go? And I said, Pittsburgh. I'm not from Pittsburgh. And but I knew a friend in Pittsburgh. So I said, no, I'm going to Pittsburgh. And he says, okay, we'll drive you to Pittsburgh. It's Latrobe, PA. So he said, we'll swing by the stadium on the way out because your cleats are there in the locker. And we got a lot of swag for you. We got great jerseys and T-shirts and hats and shorts. And I said, I don't want any of that shit. He said, you don't want it's good stuff. I don't want it. Am I going to wear it? I'm not wearing it. I don't want the cleats either. I'm not going to use them anymore. So he took me into Pittsburgh, and I had this rudimentary idea of where my friend lived. So I didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
Was what it was. So
Why didn't you want to go home?
That was all screwed up. I thought, I don't want to go home and have to explain this.
100%.
So I said, it was still in the summertime. So I directed him up a street, and I saw a bar. It was a local bar with the door open. In the summertime, the door's no air, the door was open. I said, right here. My friend lives right around that bar. Just drop me off here. You sure? They kind of said, yeah, give me the bag. And adios. So I went in the bar, and it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. And there were like a couple of, locals. It was a local joint.
Yeah.
So I walk in. I'm 23 years old. They don't know me. I'm a stranger in this neighborhood. And they're looking like, what's this kid? I order a beer, and they got the TV up high, on the wall. And we're watching it, and the news comes on, and they're showing Armstrong walking on the moon.
Wow.
That's when I got cut. And I'm thinking, well, somebody had a good day. He had the golf club, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. And then they went to the sports. And, of course, it's Pittsburgh. So they go, linebacker Ed O'Neill released today from the Steelers, and there's my picture. And these guys are in the bar. And they look, they go, you're Ed O'Neill. yeah. And they said, your money's no good here. Now they're all buying me drinks. I end up at 3 o'clock in the morning in some car with some girl with a state hoopy pulling me over, you know. I don't even know my name at this point. And the guy looks in, and I think I had my shirt off, and, you know, I was almost naked.
Yeah.
And I'm driving, though. And he says, you know, I had my driver's license. He said, did you get cut today from Pittsburgh? I said, yep. He said, miss, can you drive? She said, yeah. He's just driving around. And he said, can you drive this guy home? And she said, I'll take him. He says he knows somebody. And he said, letting him go. Because it was, you know, it was Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh Steelers, they love them Steelers.
Even if you got cut, it doesn't make any difference.
You're still
right?
part of the team. You're
know.
still part of the team.
Anyway, that's I don't think I've told that story ever.
Quiet in practice one day, I threw a pass, and for some reason he mad at John Cobra something. He came through and he decked me, knocked me back over, ass kettle, helmet flew off.
Practice.
Well, now we practiced in full pads.
Yeah.
I found the football and I got up. Boom. I threw it. I tried to kill him. Nobody, you know, Chuck Noll, he's probably, he didn't mind it, but I have the shit knocked out of me. Boy, I was pissed. He came over and I said, let me tell you something, Mad Dog. You may lose with me, but you'll never win without me. You got that? And I walked over. I was steaming. I took my helmet off. Y'all sit on your helmets in practice? Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I sat on my helmet, and I'm over there, and I'm mad because nobody got in a fight. Nobody fought for me. Maybe that's it.
Feelings
Maybe
hurt.
nobody gave a shit. I don't know. But I'm over by myself, and here comes Mad Dog. He comes over, and he kind of had that high pitch. Blind mama! What was that? Give me that saying. What was that saying? What are you talking about? You know when that saying, you threw the ball, what you said, what? What was that you said, huh? And he had his tooth missing. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you said something about we're going to win, may lose. I said, and I got to thinking, what did I say? So he sat down. Next thing I know, it's like, hey, pull up a chair. Pull up a helmet. So we started going, okay, you knocked me down. I got pissed. I hit you with the football. You came at me. I pointed at you. And what did I say? He said something about you're going to win with me. I said, no. You may lose with me. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You're going to lose with me. No, I'm not going to lose with you. You may lose with me. Then what? And then we sat over there. And it took us 30 minutes. And we go, but you'll never win without me. That's it. Yeah. Oh, I like that. I said, well, I like it too. That's an original.
Yeah.
And to this day, that was always, of course, he passed away, God bless him. Joe Green will say, Bomb Bomber said, you may lose with me, but you'll never win without me. And that kind of became the theme of their defense. They used to use it all the time.
He was a wonderful tight end. Back when they used to block a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I do Fox with Rob, with Gronk, and we'll sit and talk, and I always pick his brain whenever, because we'll watch all the games together, and I'll have all the TVs.
Yeah.
Sitting there, you got Howie Long.
Yeah.
Bradshaw, Gronk.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yo, Gronk, what do you think about this kid? Yeah, he's more of a H-back. I go, Gronk, what do you think about this guy? He's more of an H-back. He really thinks that the true tight end position, there's only like 2 to 3 that are traditional tight end that could sit up on the end of the line of scrimmage and block a 9 technique.
Right. Wow.
You know what I mean? There's not many guys that do that.
Yeah.
You got a lot of these guys, it's become a pass catching position.
Oh, yeah. It's an
and a
extra wide
matchup
receiver.
problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're getting big receivers, and then you're playing the personnel group game.
Yeah.
And now they don't have to block the ends anymore. They can get up on, a smaller backer.
Oh, yeah.
The game's
yeah.
completely changed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so much faster.
It is.
I can't get over it sometimes.
Gary, how was your blocking when you played at BC?
Awful. My blocking was awful. My technique was awful. I relied on being able to jump very high, and I had good hands, but my blocking, I could never do. They used to call it a reach block.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard block. And also, when I was in high school, they didn't want you to use your hands. They wanted you to block with your shoulder, so that
You used to do the wings.
the flippers, so you wouldn't get called for a holding call.
Monday night showdown.
Okay, yeah.
It was everything it was built up to be. Montana, Elway combined for 650 passing yards, 5 TDs. It was a little slow starting out, nothing after the first, feeling each other out in Mile High. Then we get on the board 14-14 at the half. Elway's slinging one, Montana's slinging one. They trade TD passes in the third. Then it comes down to the fourth.
Minute
And
25.
It's the same old story. Elway does the drive, 10 men on the field. He runs it in himself. They
Quarterback
take the
draw.
lead with a minute 29 left. Now it's Joe Magic time.
And it really, when you watch that drive, it really is, people talk about Tom Brady with the 10-yard, 3-yard, 4-yard dump-off passes. I mean, he did just
Check down
check down the whole field.
And what was so interesting, I'm rewatching it the other day. You see guys in this situation today, it's from the shotgun, empty backfield, spread them out. Back then, Joe's under center every snap with 2 tight ends. They got a minute 29 left, 2 timeouts, and he's still marching down the field under center. I love it.
You look at the Chiefs now with this year.
Yep.
They've been a lot more under the center.
Yeah.
Because you got to incorporate that run game.
Helping the tackles out a little bit.
Tackles, it's a big thing. And there's something to be said, like when people say, oh, it's a dink dunk, this, that, to have the discipline as a quarterback to not take the foos goal. Because there's spots where it opened up and it closes quick. And to be able to not make a mistake in a high pressure situation and take what the defense gives you, it seems easy for the regular person, but it's so hard because you feel that pressure, you feel the time, you feel where you are in the game. And that's why you like Patrick Mahomes this year. He's been like that. He hasn't turned the ball over in 6 goddamn playoff games. And it hasn't been razzle dazzle, but he's had the humility and he's had that kind of confidence to know what his team is, know that we have a really good defense right now. We know, defenses are playing us probably a little different. We don't have what we had in the past on the outside. And to just take what the defense gives you that's a skill,
Discipline. It's just
but there's going to be that one time where you hit that check down, you hit that option route. There's going to be that one time where you have to put that 14-yard in cut in there, and that's what these guys do.
Yeah.
And that's what you saw with, Joe Montana, and that's what you saw a lot with Tom Brady, and that's what you're seeing right now with Patrick Mahomes. It's been impressive. Jack, what's this last drive? Can you
last
walk
drive
us through it?
Do you remember the last
Well,
drive?
I remember our tight end, Keith Cash, was out. He was injured. So we had, I believe his name was Tracy Green or something like that. It was his rookie year from Grambling State. Grambling State. Biggs. He was a former offensive lineman, 6'5", 275, big old tight end. He had a crucial catch down at the end of the game to get us close to the goal line. And then Willie Davis. I mean, the great Willie Davis, again, a Kansas City Chief, gets that touchdown. And where Montana put it, very Mahomes-esque. I mean, Mahomes would say my passes are very Joe Montana-esque. Right where it needed to be, right leading him to the pylon. It was great.
Low and outside.
Low, only where he could get it.
So a lot of what you're coached in the National Football League on the back line, everything's high, so no one can catch it. When you're on the goal line, everything has to be low because there's less space.
How about that pass from Josh Allen against us that was so low and down at the pylon in that game? And then Patrick Mahomes returns the favor against the Ravens with an equally great pass.
Oh my man! And great recall, Eric. Shout out to Tracy Green. He only had 6 career receptions in the NFL.
Yeah,
and Joe's leaning on him in crunches to crunch times.
Yeah, I think he played one more year and then that was it. Yeah.
He did one more year for the Steelers, Grambling State.
Yeah,
Grambling State.
And this one ends up 31-28 in the House of Horrors. Kansas City goes in there and gets the win. Boom
and boom. 14-year drought.
Monday Night Football.
Right?
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
Marty gets his first one in there.
Yeah.
At Mile High.
That's awesome.
Right, I
love Marty Schottenheimer, Marty Ball, baby.